Russia will help Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to construct their own satellite. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful night. Thank you very much. You know, I like you so much that I have to come into calls sometimes and pass you the message, because I know some of you guys really like me very much too. So I'm just reciprocating. Let me fix you here. This is better. Okay, thank you so much. I love you. No, I don't love you quite much, but well, I love you. Let me say that, because then you will not love me too, right? Thank you very much. You very much appreciated. Here we talk about most of the things of our people, Africa, diaspora, and many other things. I think it's very necessary that we have our own view of the world. You know, we are tired of the propaganda of the East, propaganda of the West. We want to see our own things. Thank you very much. I see you from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, and we go. Okay, so Russia is going to build a satellite for these three African countries: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. We've spoken many times about these great countries. They've freed themselves from the oppression. Basically, these are people that toppled the president, okay, to take back power for the people. And now, French are not very happy because these countries were colonized by France. Because they're not very happy, these guys turn their faces towards Russia. They want to work with the Russians because they feel like they've been scammed for many years. France has been looting, stealing, taking gold, diamonds, minerals, uranium, and many other things for their own benefits, while the people of that side of Africa is suffering. Now, these three countries have come together as one nation, as a confederation, because they understand that if one country represents itself, they will fail. So, more it's always better. They've come three countries and discussed with Russia on how to build a satellite. Assimi Goïta, who is the president of Mali currently, discussed the project with Lia Tarasenko, the head of Russian space company Glav Cosmos, along with the official of Niger and Burkina Faso. The project comes in response to the challenge of sovereignty, security, and development in the region. So, you know, that region is being very much attacked by terrorists. And some experts believe the terrorists are being sponsored by some Western nations. Yeah, because France was kicked out and they're not very happy. And apparently they are, supposedly financing the terror. I didn't say it, yeah. So they have to find a way to counter that. Now, Russia, America, and many other countries have satellites. They can see what's happening everywhere. These countries do not have satellites. Therefore, with a satellite, you can see what's happening in a nation. You can see the lands, who's hiding where. You know, things you can see with the drone, with the satellite, you see much better. You can see where they're plotting. You can see where they're planning. You can see everything. Now, these countries, because they feel like they are being threatened, and all these nations here that are called ECOWAS, these are African nations that are not very happy with these three countries because they freed themselves. They are perceived as a threat to their freedom. So, because these ECOWAS, unfortunately, Africans always ready to destroy other Africans, are ready to cooperate with Europe, the European Union, to get these three African nations back into slavery. Now, these three African countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, are cooperating with Russia so they can get satellites to protect them, to see. The statement said the satellites, including one for communication, another for remote sensing, will strengthen the digital infrastructure through better internet coverage, as well as the broadcasting of radio and television in the IES countries. This is how they call themselves, the IES countries. So they're going to get better communication, better remote sensing, better internet, better digital infrastructure. And this is not just because they can work with the Russians. The good thing here is about what? They're going to use the satellite as well for agriculture, for health, education, imagery. And the AES states are also planning to train a local expert in space technology. Congratulations. You see, in many African countries that bring Chinese, especially Chinese and sometimes Europeans, to come and do some work, infrastructural work, technology work, railroads, trains, electricity, roads, you know what happens? These people come, they do the road, they do the work, but they do not teach the locals about the technology. So what does that mean? It means once they leave, you still need them if something breaks. Yeah, so that's a perpetual contract. Now, this is not the case with the Russians. With the Russians, they're going to make sure that they train local experts in space technology. In case something breaks while they're gone, they can fix it. It's not a question of benefiting from the Russian technology, but of training local experts who in the long term will ensure autonomous management of this infrastructure. This is what the Nigerian president said. Okay, fellas, I think this is very interesting to narrate. From what you understand, these three countries have freed themselves from the French because French were their colonizer and they found a way to continue colonizing them after colonization. And these other African countries are not happy with them. Now, they're cooperating with Russia. Russia is going to help them build a satellite for the three countries so they can look after the country, so they can get imagery, so they can get geography for security purpose, for agriculture, and many other things. Now, let's talk about satellite. Many years ago, Africans needed to make phone calls. And in order for Africans to make phone calls, they had to route to a satellite in Europe for an African call. Meaning if you're in Kampala, Uganda, for instance, your call has to be routed to Europe and back to Kampala from somebody you want to call. And that was very expensive. So Africans used to pay $400 million a year to a European base for them to use a European satellite for routing their calls. Now, because it was very difficult, Africans came together. They said, let's organize something. Let's do something so we can have our own satellite and route our own calls. It was called Roscom. Now, the Roscom project was really stuttering because Africans could not come together as usual. They couldn't come together to discuss, okay, put your money here, let me put my money so we can buy our own satellite. No, it's very difficult. I don't know why it's like that with Africans. They will give you promises. Yeah, we're going to contribute. But when it's time to contribute, they will not show off. Oh, my mom was sick. My auntie in the village broke a leg. It's always excuses. Yeah. No. Mohammed Gaddafi of Libya. Here's Libya. That's the man. Here's Libya again. That is the man. He said, how much money do you need? They say we need $500 million for us to build our own satellite. He gave 400 million of his own money. He could have afforded 500 million. He said 400. For the rest, you can come together, use small people, so you can buy the satellite. That's how Africa got its first satellite for telephony, for telecom, for phones, for routing. Props to that man. Then later on, NATO and them went and bombed this man, saying he's a dictator. He's killing his own people. You know the drill. Now, I think now you understand. We're not stupid. Okay, so congratulations to these countries. Somebody's going to come to your house, teach you how to build something that's crucial to your development, help you with infrastructure, show you how it functions, train your kids to know how to make it work, even if they're not there. Why would you refuse such person? As opposed to somebody that will ask you for a lot of money, build the thing and let it break so you can call them. It doesn't teach you how it works, so you can call them again, they can come back. Now, they hate the Russians not just because of Ukraine. They hate Russia because Russia is kicking them out of Africa. And Russia is not fighting them in Africa. Africans are realizing, actually, this guy, we rather work with him than you. Because you've been exploiting us. Yes. Africans are realizing, oh, actually, you are the people that choose puppets and put them on top of our country so you can continue looting. Whilst Russia has never been to Africa, they've never looted any country. Never colonized anybody. I'm just being honest. I'm not pro-Russia. I don't give a continental about Russia. I'm just being honest. Am I lying? I'm not lying. History books. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, congratulations on the satellite. They said they did. They said we're going to create our own passport. They have done it. They've removed themselves from the ECOWAS passports. They said they're going to create their own currency. They are working on it. Now, they said they're going to create their own means of communication because it's important. You need to have your own means of communication because if you're still using European means of communication or means of communication from an African country that's not very happy with you, now they're capturing all the intelligence, the phone calls, right? Remember, these three countries and these other ECOWAS are not getting along well because ECOWAS want them back into the slavery camp. Now, if they're using the same infrastructure as them, they can be hacked. They can see what they're doing. They can read their messages. So, for security purposes, they're going to create their own satellites so they can be protected. Let me know how you feel about this. Always a great pleasure. God bless.